In today's video, we're going to talk about what I am calling the Goldilocks Principle when it comes to selecting the most appropriate exercise for you to normalize your movement pattern and restore arm and leg movement after a neurologic injury. If you're new to this channel, I'm Tara, I'm a neurologic physical therapist, and on this channel we talk about anything and everything related to mobility, health, fitness, and mindset in the context of neurologic injury with the end goal of empowering you with as many tools as possible to take ownership of your rehab and your health to live an overall more active, more mobile, pain-free, happier, healthier life. And all that said, today we are going to figure out, or I'm going to help you figure out, what is the best exercise based on where you are at in your recovery. And I'm terming this the Goldilocks Principle. In other words, how to select the best exercise that's not too hard and not too easy, but just right. And yes, there is a little bit of an art to neuro rehab where you want to make an exercise challenging enough that it forces the brain to have to rewire or develop a new neural network, but not too hard that the brain just kind of turns off. So before we dive into that, there are some things that I think are important to know to help you to determine what is a normal movement to begin with. So step one, I would say, whatever the exercise is, do it on your uninvolved side first. That is your textbook. That is what you should consider to be a normal movement for you. Now, when it comes to choosing the best exercise, you're trying to recreate that same movement on your involved side. If the movement looks completely different than your uninvolved side, or you cannot perform the movement at all, then that probably means the movement is too difficult. On the other hand, if you feel like you are just completely checked out of the exercise and you're just kind of going through the motions, either that's because someone is performing the movement for you or helping you with the movement, or you're helping it with your other hand, or you've just selected an exercise that's too easy and you don't really have to think about it, well, then again, the brain is not going to be motivated to develop any kind of a new neural network. So then the question is, how do you find that sweet spot? And that is what we're going to go through today. So let's first kind of define what a kind of normal movement is. And I would say in most cases, a normal arm or leg movement is a movement that you can perform against gravity. So that means the limb is moving away from the ground. And I would say, generally speaking, until you can move a limb away from the ground against gravity with a normal movement pattern, meaning it looks very similar to your other side, then you do not want to start adding resistance. So that's kind of like the baseline that we're working up towards. Once you get there and you're starting to add resistance, I would say we're getting more into like what I would call like the strengthening zone. So you've normalized your movement pattern and now you're working on building strength. So this video is going to be identifying including anything before you can move a movement, you can perform a movement against gravity. So let's start from the beginning and what would be the easiest, and that would be performing a movement with gravity. So now you're using gravity to assist the movement, and that's a really good place to start for most people. So for example, and I've shown this recently in a couple of videos, setting up a surface so that it's kind of on an angle and it's in a decline and you are moving towards the ground. Now you're using gravity to assist that movement. If you can do that well and you're doing it with a normal movement pattern, I would say the next step is to move gravity eliminated. So that would be moving parallel to the floor. So if you're trying to learn how to lift your leg or bring your leg up towards you, then laying on your side and bringing your knee to your chest would be kind of like performing parallel to the ground, which would be gravity eliminated. Same with the arm. If you wanted to work on reaching, laying on your side and moving the arm up would be parallel to the ground, and that would also be what we would consider a gravity eliminated movement. So with gravity assisting first, if that's too easy for you and you feel like you're really not challenging that brain to develop any type of a new neural network, which it does need to be challenged in some way, then you would move to gravity eliminated parallel to the ground. If that's easy or you feel like you can do that, then you start to work against gravity, meaning you will move that limb away from the ground. So that is one way to either grade an activity, making it easier or harder to find that Goldilocks spot, which is just right. Now let's talk about self-assisted exercises. So self-assisted exercises are where you use your uninvolved arm to help your involved arm. And again, this is something where you really have to pay attention to how much you're helping with the uninvolved arm. And you want to help as much as you need to, but not more than you have to. So I've said that in a lot of videos. Anytime I talk about self-assisted exercises, I usually will mention that concept of help as much as you need to, but not more than you have to. And that really does mean that you really have to pay attention to every single repetition and make sure that the involved arm is being challenged. Now, there are a variety of ways that you can assist. You can help by just clasping your hands together and helping in that manner where you're just lifting the involved arm with the uninvolved arm. Or you can use a dowel rod where you just strap both hands to a dowel rod. That is also kind of what I would call active assisted or self-assisted. Or what I like to do, especially with overhead reaching, is a Pilates ring. I like to use things that are lightweight so that you're not adding an additional barrier by adding a tool to help you assist the movement when the tool is creating weight, which is making the movement harder to do, if that makes sense. So a Pilates ring is great because it's lightweight. And then the other way that you can assist is using resistance bands to assist a movement. So you can either do that by strapping a resistance band over your head and attaching it to your arm or to a dowel rod to assist with reaching up. Same with the leg. You can attach a resistance band overhead and work on leg lifts laying down. Or like I've shown in a lot of videos, you can use a resistance band belt, attach it to your body, and use that as an anchor point to help use that resistance band to help lift your leg up. So using some kind of a tool or person to assist a movement is another way to grade an activity to make it not too difficult and not too easy, but just right in that sweet spot. And then the other tool I want to talk about is electrical stimulation. Neuromuscular electrical stimulation is a way to kind of activate a muscle. And again, it is a tool where you do want to find that sweet spot where it's helping enough, but not too much. The nice thing about eStim is that you can adjust the intensity, and it's kind of measurable because it gives you a number. So if you can turn the intensity to a level and it's helping a lot and you're seeing like a full range of motion, doing that a few times and then kind of backing down that intensity and trying to get your muscles to kind of take over a little bit. Now, I've talked about this in a lot of videos. I don't think eStim is like the end-all be-all tool. I think the only way that it is effective in getting that brain rewiring is if you can incorporate some kind of a functional activity, or at the very least, be very engaged. Every time that electrical stim comes on, you are looking at your hand and you are, if it's on your hand, and you are actually lifting your fingers or attempting to lift your fingers every single time that eStim comes on. Same with the foot. When it's on your leg, you are looking at your foot. As soon as you feel that eStim come on, you're trying to lift your foot up. Once you can do that and you're very successful, as quickly as possible, you want to start turning that eStim down, that intensity down. So I hope all of that made sense. Those are just a few ways, again, to grade an activity to make sure you are finding the right difficulty, level of difficulty that is going to challenge your brain, but you're setting yourself up for success so that brain has the potential to rewire around that new movement. But I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did and you like these kinds of videos and you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell so that you will get notified every time I upload new videos. If you really want to take your rehab to the next level and get into a routine where you are doing your rehab exercises every single day, I highly recommend that you check out our membership program. With a gold membership program, you will get access to a vault of exercises specifically designed to help people with neurologic injuries restore normal movement. To learn more about that program and to sign up, visit rehab-hq.com. If you want to get exercises throughout the week, you can visit us on Instagram, where we post 1 to 2 videos every single week. So hopefully I will see some of you over there. I enjoyed spending time with y'all today, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good day.